Hello model railroad fans, welcome to Vintage Road and Rail. In today's video I thought we would test out a handful of vintage locomotives that I recently picked up, many of them at an auction just the other day at my local model railroad club, but a couple others were taken off of eBay, or another one was just given to me by a friend. So what I'm going to do real quick is briefly just kind of point out what is what, and then we'll set up on the tripod and we'll get a closer look and see which of these run and which of these don't. So let's first start down here with this Tyco SOO line. This one had better run. It was sold to me on eBay new and still sealed in the box. However, upon checking with some people a little bit more in the know about stuff that was sold new, back in the 70s and 80s, that these locomotives were not sealed inside the box. So that tells me someone has shrink wrapped it later. So we'll see. Then we got this Illinois Central Gulf 630. Then we've got this Spirit of 76 430 from a Spirit of 76 train set that's still in the trunk of my car, well, back of my SUV I should say. Then we've got this Burlington C430, Santa Fe C430, and I believe this is a 628, and this is an F9, Tyco F7 or F9. This is given to me by my friend Mike up at the train club. He had given me a bag of cars that we looked at in my Tyco haul video that I uploaded recently, and so we're going to see if this will work or not. Then we have this lifelike locomotive. Looks to be a GP38 or maybe a GP40. Someone a little bit more in the know might let me know. And then we've got this mystery item right here, and I'll explain later. And then we got the granddaddy. We got a Riverossi Big Boy. This came from the, if I can get my words out of my mouth, auction from my model railroad club. Alright, so I'm going to stop the video real quick and get set up on the tripod, and I'll have it facing the track right here. And I got my little railer, and we can load these rascals up and see which ones work and which ones do not. Alright, give me 1 second. Alright, I'm set up on the tripod here, and you can see the edge of the railer, and we got the track here. Power supply is turned on, and it's set to go forward, so ideally anything I put on here should go that direction. So we're not going to start out, even though this is in the front, we're not going to start out with this guy here. We're going to set him off to the side, and that will be the second to last locomotive we get to. And as you can probably guess, the last one will be the big boy. Alright, and these other two that are in the box, I'm going to set them off to the side, because when we get near the end of the video, I'll stop it and unbox all of those rascals, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so let's start with the one that Mike gave me. And it's just a simple either F9 or F7. I think Tyco calls these F9s, but they look like F7s to me. But this is one of the older Tyco Mantle ones that have the MU2 drives. So let's load this up here and see what happens. Alright, so we are on the track. So let's give it some power. We're at full. So I'm going to back it down a little bit, and let's... Well, it's got life. It has got life. Alright, I wouldn't call that a runner by any means, but the light did light up, and it does have some life. So I think it's going to be just a matter of taking this apart and giving it a good clean up the wheels. I think these need traction tires, yes it does. And then we'll see what we've got with that another time. Alright, so now let's just move over to this lifelike. I believe this is a GP38-2, but I won't swear to it. Someone a little bit more in the know, let me know. But this is lifelike, and this came from that train auction at my railroad club. I got this with a few cars for $5. So wasn't breaking the bank at all. Alright, so I've given it some power. And I briefly saw a light. I don't know if you caught that. Alright, but we just briefly had a light flickered on for a split second, but it is not going nowhere either. So that is going to be a future project as well. Alright, now let's come down to this Silver Streak locomotive. It was also from that auction. It was rattling around pretty good in a box, so I don't have high expectations. But we're on the track, so let's see what we got. So far, nothing. Yeah, we're not getting anything out of this guy. Alright, so let's turn that off. It looks like it's shorting too, because the overload light come on, so it may have been shorting out. And also, you couldn't see it from the side. It's missing one of the side frames. So this is also another project for another day. Not somewhere to set it. Alright. So now we have another C430. This is a Santa Fe. This is one of the older MU2 drives though. So hopefully that will bode well for us. Those are far more robust than the later power torques. Alright, let's give it some life, some power. Well, we saw a light, so at least we know it's getting some current. This is a $5 engine, so I'm not expecting a lot. But you can see the light flickering on and off there. Okay, so I don't want to push my luck with it. So it looks like that's going to need a little bit of work. My project list is building up. I'm 0 for 4 here. Alright, so let's move over to this. This is, it says on the bottom, Mahano. And it was actually in an IHC box. And this is a C628, I believe it was. And I bought this some time back, and it's kind of been just sitting here ever since. I think I paid like $10 for it or something like that. So let's see if this will run. Aha. We went forward. Alright, let's come off the tripod for a minute and let's see. This one actually seems to be running pretty good. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, I got my $10 worth out of that one. Probably use it to clean up, but alright. Well, that's running beautifully. So let's put it back on the tripod here. So let's set this over on the other side of the table. Still, we're 1 and 4. If we were a sports team, we'd be sucking. Alright, so this one I really like. It's another Tyco C430 Burlington, but it's got the handrails on there. Looks like I need to tighten one up. I thought I saw it flopping. But this one, I thought it would have an MU2 drive on it, but it's actually got the power torque. So let's load this on the track. And let's see if she runs. Oh, she's going, and the light works too. She's struggling, but she's running. Let's back her up here. She's coming back in the camera. Alright, well that's a runner as well, but definitely could use some maintenance. So we're not going to run it around the track. We don't want to stress her out here. So we're improving. We're 2 for 4. So we'll set that over on the right hand side of the table. Alright. Now this is a mystery to me. I'm going to come off the tripod so you can get a closer look. So maybe someone in the comments will know something about this. But it looks like a European locomotive to me. It's a 080, but when I'm looking at the front, it just doesn't quite look like something we would see here in the U.S. But it says New York Central and has the number of 246. So I'm not real sure, but just kind of give you a closer look at it. And someone at the train club seemed to think it was made by Riverossi, just by the kind of the look of it on the bottom there. But this is tender driven, so the tender is very heavy, and as you can see, these wheels roll freely. So let's load her up and see how she does. And in fact, I just noticed it's got a European coupler. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just kind of pick up the whole tripod. I don't know if you can see that coupler right there. It's kind of in the shadow. Alright, let's give it some power. It's not moving. Well, I had it still in reverse, but it moved. Ooh-wee. Okay, let's not tempt fate on that one. I'm going to put it over here to the right because it moved, but that rascal definitely needs some attention. Alright, so this will just pop right out of its box easy enough. I'm going to drop it out here, and the coupler came out before the locomotive did. So that's going to need some repair work. And this is a little bit different power torque drive. It just has the one screw instead of the normal 3 that I see. So let's go ahead and load her up here and see how she runs. Now I got this with looks to be a complete Spirit of 76 train set. The rest of it is out still, like I said, in the back of my SUV. But I thought I'd bring this in and give it a test, and I couldn't turn it down. I won it for $10, so the whole set. So there's no way I was going to leave that there. Alright, let's give it some power. Well, we got light, so we know at least it's getting some electricity. I could have swore I felt it tug. It is trying. It is kind of ever so slightly pulling itself. And you just saw it when I let off, it kind of jerked. But it's not wowing anybody with its performance, that's for sure. So since it did move a little, I will set it over here. But I'm kind of keeping note of what works and what doesn't. Alright, so I'm going to stop the video for just a moment and unbox these other two, and then we'll pick back up and see how these last 3 locomotives go. Alright, I've unboxed this SOO line locomotive, and well, I forgot to turn my power pack off, so you saw the light flash on, so we know at least that's working. But this has an MU2 drive on it, so we stand a good chance of it actually running. And another nice thing about this one is it had the handrails in the box. Now this had better run because I actually paid for this thinking it was still sealed, so we'll see. Let's give it some power. And okay. Well, let's bring it back around here. All right, so it does run, but I think it could definitely stand for some lubrication and a bit of a cleanup. All right, so now we're going to take a look at this Illinois Central Gulf. This is a Tyco C630. This is another $5 engine. So let's see if it runs. I'll set that off to the side because I'm going to need that out of the way in a minute. Let's put it in forward. I saw it lurch. Now we got light and it's trying. All right, it's moving. It's a bit slow about it, but it is moving. So let's see if I can get it to come back here. All right. Well, that seemed to run pretty decently. It could definitely stand with a good cleanup and wheel cleaning and some lubrication and all that good stuff. And I think it will run pretty good after that. Wish I had some handrails for it. That would look really awesome. All right, so let's put that over here. So our odds have improved. We've got 4 that don't work, and we've got 6 that do. So now let's get to the Big Boy. This is a Riverossi Big Boy. This is a 4884, and it just doesn't want to fit in the camera all the way. And it has its centipede tender, but it has, there's the tender, but it has a European style coupler. It seems to be missing part of it. So I'm going to again stop the video and get this loaded up on the track, because it'll take me a few moments, and then I'll be off the tripod and we'll see how everything works. Alright, Big Boy is on the tracks here. That was a bit exhausting getting that rascal with all those wheels on there. I don't know how Harrison at SMT Mainline gets that thing on the track so effortlessly. I mean, it looks like he just sets it down and he's practically ready to go. Me, I took 2 minutes fidgeting with it. And the other question is, if it does run, is it going to handle these 18-inch curves? So, all right, so let's give it some power and see what happens. If this don't run, I have no clue how to fix it. All right, so we've got power. And I feel it humming. So I don't know. It looks like it's trying to run. Let's see. All right. Okay. Ooh-wee. Sounds hideous. All right, I'm gonna stop it. I don't want to push my luck. All right. So at least it does get electricity. So hopefully I can do some research and see what needs to be cleaned and lubricated, because I don't know that I want to try to take this whole thing apart. As near as I know, I haven't even seen Harrison rip one of these apart yet, and he works on locomotives constantly. So if he's uncomfortable doing it, I sure as the heck am. So, but anyway, this is a look at these 11 locomotives. We've got the working ones here, along with the Big Boy that tried to work. And then we got these 2 and these 2 here that weren't working. So those 4 will be projects in the future. And of course that Virginian wasn't on the video, but it works perfectly, thanks to a friend of mine named Brian. Alright, well, very good. So that's all of them. So if you enjoyed taking a look at these old vintage locomotives, see whether they would work or not, make sure and hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when I have another video up in the near future. I'm going to try and get some of these fixed. Alright, well, until the next video, thank you very much for joining me. Happy model railroading, guys. Take care.